Alex Jang has just finished his first quarter of Algorithms and Data Structures B. He wants to put his knowledge to the test by sorting his test scores from the quarter.
The first sorting algorithm that Alex is going to use is called merge sort. And what merge sort does is that it splits a list into halves and sorts the halves. So we started out with a list of 8 elements and we split into 2 halves of 4. And we can keep on doing this. We can split into 4 lists of 2 and 8 lists of 1. And now we've gotten it to each individual list of 1. We try to recombine it in the same way that we split the list. So the first pair that we had was 6 and 1. And 6 is greater than 1, so they're not in the right positions. So we can switch 6 and 1 and recombine them into a pair. 3 and 5, they're in the right order, so we can just recombine them. Similarly, 2 and 8 can be recombined in 4 and 7. Now we have these 2 pairs, and we want to recombine these 2 pairs into a 4. And what we do is we can compare the first elements of each list, right? So 1 is less than 3, so 1 will go first. And then we can do this process again. 3 is less than the first element of this part of this half of the list, which is 6. So 3 goes next. And then 5 is less than 6, and then 6 is left. We do the same process with this half of the list. So comparing the first elements, 2 is less than 4, 2 will go first. 4 is less than 8, 7 is less than 8, and 8 will go last. And we can just do this same process again with our 2 groups of 4 to go back to the sorted list of 8. So comparing the first elements, 1 is less than 2, so 1 will go first. 2 is less than 3. 3 is less than 4. 4 is less than 5. 5 is less than 7. 6 is less than 7. And then there's nothing to compare to, so it just goes 7 and then 8. So now the list is sorted.
Oh, so that's what merge sort is. If only I had known that on the test, I probably wouldn't have gotten a 6 out of 100.
In the quick sort, the first thing we need to do is choose a pivot point from the list. Let's choose 5 because it's in the middle. After we have a pivot point, we'll start at both the ends of the list and compare the numbers to the pivot point. The goal is to have everything on this side of the list to be less than 5 and everything on this side of the list to be greater than 5. So starting with 7 and 1. 7 should be on the other side because it's greater than 5. Similarly, 1 is also on the wrong side because it's less than 5. Let's switch these two. Moving on, 3 and 8. 3 is on the right side because it's less than 5. 8 is also on the correct side because it's greater than 5, so we're going to leave them as they are. Now to 6 and 4. 6 is on the wrong side because it's greater than 5. 4 is also on the wrong side because it's less, so we can switch these two as well. Now 2. 2 is less than 5, so it's on the wrong side right now. Now we can compare it to the pivot point because there's nothing left. We'll say that 5 is not less than 5, so it should be switched. After we run through it the first time, we'll end up with 3 lists. On this side, everything is less than the pivot point. Then we have the pivot point, and the third one, everything is greater than the pivot point. So what we're going to do is we're going to repeat the quick sort on all of these smaller lists. Starting with here. Let's choose 3 as our pivot point. 1, and we'll compare 1 and 2. 1 is on the correct side, but 2 isn't. So we're going to hold 2 right here. Now 3. 3 is not less than 3, so we're going to say it's on the wrong side, so we can switch it with 2. Now 4 and 3. 4 is greater than 3, so it's on the wrong side. 3 is not greater than 3, so it's on the wrong side as well, so we can switch these. Now 5 is just a single element, so it's already sorted. Now here. Let's say 8 is our pivot point. 6 and 7. 6 is on the correct side, but 7 isn't. So we're going to move on. 7 and 8. 8 is on the wrong side because 8 is not less than 8. So we can switch it with 7. Now here's what we know. We have a sorted list right here that we know is less than the pivot point. We have the pivot point and a sorted list over here that we know is greater than the pivot point. So what we can do is we can put the smaller side at the beginning, we can put the pivot point in the middle, and we can put the greater list at the end. And now the list is sorted.